Viewer video of an arrest, the end of a wild police pursuit and carjacking investigation.
Tonight, an officer injured after a stolen vehicle plows through a blockade in a West End parking garage. Good evening. The officer is expected to recover. His injuries considered minor. 2 suspects were also hurt, the stolen vehicle rolling over as they tried to flee. CTV's Mike Walker's live on Eva Road in Etobicoke, where witnesses watched the scene unfold early this morning. Mike.
Tenants at this apartment building tell us the sound of the crash jolted them out of bed this morning. The rollover happened in the driveway here, where officers were the carjacking task force attempted to box in the suspected stolen vehicle. A suspected stolen BMW SUV rolled over on its side in the driveway of an Etobicoke apartment building after the driver attempted to evade police.
We heard a really loud, must have been a crashing sound. I thought the building was coming down.
The violent sound of the crash startling people out of bed.
When I looked out the window, I heard police and everything. It's devastating.
Ran onto the balcony, car was flipped over on the side. The police, there was lots of police present. There must have been about 20 police here.
It was around 5:30 this morning when investigators with the Provincial Carjacking Task Force spotted the vehicle and attempted to stop it in the apartment complex on Eva Road near Highway 427.
The officers attempted to strategically box the vehicle in order to prevent a pursuit.
That's when police say the driver attempted to take off, ran through the blockade of unmarked police vehicles, and then rolled over.
Officers pulled the 2 occupants to safety and subsequently arrested them.
This viewer video shows several police officers removing the 2 suspects from the rolled over vehicle and quickly arresting them.
Police pulled them both out, I guess out of the window or something, because they were both pulled out onto the ground.
Debris is scattered across the driveway. Police say in total 4 vehicles were damaged during the incident. You can see the damage to these unmarked police vehicles is extensive. The 2 suspects and 1 police officer were treated in hospital for minor injuries.
But no other members of the public were injured. There are no suspects outstanding.
This afternoon, a police tow truck removed the stolen vehicle from the scene. Investigators haven't revealed where it was stolen from or what led them to this apartment complex. Now, police still remain on scene at this hour. At this point, investigators haven't released any information about the 2 suspects they arrested, and there's also no word on charges. Reporting live, I'm Mike Walker. Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. And 2 people were sent to hospital following this 2-vehicle crash in Mississauga. It happened at Dixie Road and Myerside Drive shortly after 9:30 this morning. 1 vehicle hit a utility pole and knocked out power to hundreds of homes in the area. 1 person was rushed to a trauma center. The other was taken to local hospital.
We turn to 3 York Regional Police officers being hailed heroes tonight.
They're credited with saving an elderly couple from a smoke-filled home in Vaughan. Our Siobhan Morris joins us live with all the details. Siobhan.
Oh, this happened on Thursday night. It must have been really scary. It was right around 10 o'clock. This elderly couple was apparently in bed getting ready for a night of sleep when the smoke detectors in their home started going off. There was a fire inside the garage. Now, it was York Regional Police officers who were first on the scene to this home. 1 officer arrived and was able to get that elderly couple out of the home. The husband, we're told, has some mobility issues, and so that was a difficult process and really amped up the anxiety here. The couple then told other officers as they arrived that their adult daughter was still inside. In fact, officers told me that they could hear her screaming. So 1 officer said that he went in. He was able to find her pretty quickly, not far into the home, but she looked a little confused. So he was able to shepherd her through the really dense smoke that was getting worse by the moment, get her out of the home to safety. I did talk to 2 of the 3 officers. I asked one of them whether he had given any thought to going into this place of danger. Here's what he had to say.
We as police officers and my colleagues as well, we put ourselves in these situations every day, and to not to sound like I'm downplaying the incident or anything, but for my thoughts after the fact is, okay, what's next? What's the next event that I'm going to? You don't really have time to dwell or think. So in this circumstance, the fact that we were able to assist and help the individuals at that house, that gives us satisfaction that it all worked out. And for us, it's on to the next.
Now, York Regional Police are calling what these officers did an act of bravery, but they say it's just all in a day's work. The good news here is none of the 3 people who live in this home, none of the officers suffered any long-lasting injuries. Reporting live from Vaughan, I'm Siobhan Morris. Nathan and Michelle, back to you.
It's good to hear. Thank you, Siobhan. In Hamilton, police continue to investigate after a boy was pulled from a house fire over the weekend.
He remains in hospital tonight, and as CTV's Allison Hurst reports, detectives are trying to figure out if the child was left in the home alone.
Windows blown out, doors boarded up, and police tape encircles a townhome in Hamilton.
I hear the alarm going on, right? The fire alarm. And it was sound for a while. And then I hear like a broken glass, something like that.
The flames sparked yesterday morning around 1:45 a.m. in this 3-story townhome on Hamilton Central Mountain. Fire crews say shortly after they arrived, they were told there might be a child in the house.
The child was found on the upper floor by firefighters. Vital signs absent and quickly removed to the exterior.
Firefighters began CPR and managed to regain a pulse before the child was sent to hospital.
Firefighters found a fire on the main floor and very quickly were able to knock that down, get it under control. The unit itself has sustained some significant damage.
Several neighbors tell CTV News a 9-year-old boy was alone in the home at the time. Hamilton police confirm they are investigating.
He was by himself. So yeah, I don't know the reason why he was ended by himself.
The father had gone to the airport to pick up the mother. She had been to see relatives. So the boy was home by himself.
Neither police, fire, nor the Ontario Fire Marshal's office confirmed the latest status of the child in hospital.
We've seen the boy outside a lot, playing basketball, and his dad was out there quite often.
Ontario's Fire Marshal confirms there were smoke alarms in the home and they were triggered by the fire. But the cause, origin, and circumstances surrounding the fire are still under investigation. Allison Hurst, CTV News, Hamilton.
Also tonight, undercover to investigate an alleged illegal short-term rental. A community group fed up with a lack of action from officials decides to take matters into their own hands. But first, to a developing story this evening and some active weather in our region.
A very busy satellite radar behind us, a winter weather travel advisory in effect. You'll likely want to make some adjustments if you have travel plans tonight. CTV's Sean Leathon joins us live from the 400 in King City with the latest. Sean.
Well, Nathan and Michelle, I'm standing in the area where it seems like the temperature is dropping and this rain is turning into snow, and it should do so within the next hour or so. Now, there's been a winter travel advisory for much of the GTA, most of the GTA, extending from Hamilton through Halton, York, Durham, and of course the city of Toronto. A lot of that fear is that it's been a rainy day all day, and it's expected to keep raining or snowing throughout the evening. And we're sitting in the low single-digit temperatures right now, but it's supposed to drop throughout the evening. And then, of course, that would turn the temperature into snow and slush, making driving very difficult. As many people have been trying to get home tonight, it's been a bit of a slow drive. And then as the evening hours turn into mornings expected, it could be a very difficult drive tomorrow. And we know it's that first blast of winter, the first time that we taste a bit of slush and snow and ice, that people tend to forget what it's like to drive on those roads. A little while ago, I talked to Sergeant Kerry Schmidt from the OPP, and he told us what to expect and what to think about tomorrow.
There may be some snow on the ground. There may be some ice on the roads. The roads could be slick. Your stopping distances are obviously going to be longer if you have to stop quickly. So, again, giving yourself that time, giving yourself a little bit of patience, and just give yourself the ability to change your speed, change your lanes, or stop without having to hit the car in front of you. We often see a spike in collisions, mostly smaller fender benders at that time when we had our first blast of snow.
Now we're seeing the rain come down. It's a little bit harder. You can feel it. It seems to be turning into ice a little bit. And I can see when I look at the lights, it's coming down in sheets. So it appears to be changing as we speak. For the city of Toronto, they will be monitoring this, of course, overnight. And road crews will be ready if the snow does start to stick to the ground. They'll start with salting trucks once it sticks. And then moving through the day, once the snow has fallen, they'll be getting to clear the sidewalks and the roads. People are asked to be patient and to stay back from the road clearing equipment
when the drive starts tomorrow. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. I'll send it back to you.
Good tips. Thank you, Sean. And as Sean mentioned, there is a travel advisory in effect. There are also watches and warnings, so some concerns if you're out there on the roads. Roads will be slick. We've also got heavy, strong winds that we're dealing with that's turning to rain and then eventually turning into snow. It will take some time for that snow to accumulate, but when it does, expect maybe 2 to 4 centimeters of snow on the ground. Right now, conditions are just changing, so we still have rain in most areas, but again, that blast of snow is coming. Taking a look at the satellite radar, you'll see that green, that is the rain. The blue, that's the snow, but it's just sort of changing. So gradually it's sort of shifting in. Most of it shifting in by about midnight tonight as we look at the satellite radar. Taking a look at the weathers and watches and the warnings, you see all that orange there. That's the snow squall warning. So areas like London, Kitchener, Owen Sound, Goderich, they're talking between 5 and 10 centimeters of snow. That's quite a bit of accumulation. Looking at areas like Toronto, a travel advisory. So again, not too much in the way of snow, 2 to 4 centimeters. Right now we're sitting at 3 degrees in Oshawa, 4 degrees in Toronto, 4 degrees in Burlington. That is still above seasonal, but temperatures are going to be going down overnight. As we look at overnight at a glance, -4, which, by the way, is below seasonal. Normal is -7, so it's above seasonal. But tomorrow and also overnight, we're looking at temperatures a high of -4, which is the first time we have this month of a high that's below the freezing mark. All right, we'll give you a look at the long-range forecast a little bit later in the show.
Next to a CTV News investigation into short-term rentals. When a building in Kensington Market appeared to keep hosting units with seemingly no consequences, a local community group realized it had to get creative.
And as CTV's John Woodward reports, they went undercover, something they think city inspectors should do more often.
What you're looking at is a last resort, a community group trying to blow the whistle on what they believed was an illegally operating short-term rental in the heart of Toronto's eclectic Kensington Market.
And it was impossible to get this thing reported.
Zach Bradley of the Kensington Market Community Land Trust found this listing on the website booking.com, offering stays for just a few nights with no Toronto City license. Toronto rules require hosts renting for fewer than 28 days to get a license and only to rent out their personal residence, the goal to free up homes where people can live.
There's a desperate need for housing. There's a need for long-term housing. And so it's very frustrating.
Bradley complained, and yet the listing remained up.
And finally came to the realization that, we need to prove that it's an actual short-term rental.
So he booked it for one night and went inside with CTV News.
All right, what do we got? This is definitely a short-term hotel.
At least some other tenants there for short-term stays too.
And how long are you guys here for? Just 2 weeks?
We took the case to the city. They investigated and found the operator rented the suite for more than 180 nights a year and revoked their license. The city says it's received 5 short-term rental applications for units at the building, 3 denied, 1 revoked, and 1 canceled. Suites in the building appeared to be listed on other websites, including Hotels.com and Expedia. Booking.com told us the operator got around their screens by calling itself a hotel, not a home. When we called the listing company, the Bay Suites, they offered even more ways to book.
We will help you by making a manual reservation from our end.
But no comment. And their website still advertises 18 listings throughout Southern Ontario. The city is reevaluating its short-term rental bylaws.
We've got a long way to go when it comes to our enforcement on some of these short-term rental files.
If the city indeed has not enough resources to put boots on the ground, they should make use of the federal short-term rental enforcement fund to do exactly that.
100% the city should be out here doing this.
Bradley says the city should consider booking suites itself to get proof, so community groups don't have to. John Woodward, CTV News.
Mississauga is the latest city to ink a deal with Ottawa under the Housing Accelerator Fund.
The 8 initiatives that the City of Mississauga has proposed will speed up the creation of more homes and strengthen the infrastructure needed to make those homes work for the people of this city.
Ottawa will provide nearly $113 million for more homes in the municipality. Officials say the new funding will help construct 3,000 new units over 3 years. It comes after Mississauga approved a motion allowing residents to build fourplexes on low-rise residential lots, making the city eligible to receive the federal funding.
Coming up, reflecting on what were much different Hanukkah celebrations this year. A Holocaust survivor overwhelmed by distressing feelings, yet hopeful for the future.
Well, not only are we predicting a dose of snow, we're also in for a flood of toys.
Yes, it's the final week of our Toy Mountain campaign. The countdown is on to the big finale on Friday. And CTV's Andrea Case has taken over the reins. She is in Concord tonight with more. Andrea.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm at Certified Sports Memorabilia. The funny thing is, it's so quiet here right now. 30 seconds ago, there was so much activity, so much noise, but everyone's quiet for television. Here we are with the mayor of Vaughan, Stephen Del Duca. Stephen, come on in and talk to the folks here at home. First of all, thanks for having us here in Vaughan. It's our 4th year coming to Vaughan. Why is it important that we take part in events like this, especially for you?
Well, listen, first of all, you're always welcome in Vaughan, and you're right about how excited everyone was here just a moment ago, and I know they're really delighted to be here tonight. I want to say to Mitch Marner and the Marner Assist Foundation, thank you so much for taking this on. You make us proud here in the city of Vaughan of the great work that you do year in, year out to help support those in need. And this is another great example with the Give a Gift campaign. So honored that this is happening right here in our city, a very generous city. And again, to Mitch Marner and his whole family and the Marner Assist Foundation, they are awesome. And we are so proud.
Okay, so the big question is, are you ready for the holidays?
Not at all.
Well, we're going to let you get going then so you can socialize a little bit more here. And also, let's bring in a couple of kids here because they're all so excited. These kids are all hockey players. Now, all of a sudden, nobody wants to talk. What position do you play?
I play defense.
And?
Defense.
Anybody score any goals lately?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you folks at home will be scoring with Toy Mountain. Lots to coming up in the show. As you heard, Mitch Marner's in the house. I'll send it back to the studio.
Oh, we look forward to it. Thank you, Mayor, as well. Thanks, Andrea. Yes, the countdown is on to Christmas. We're now just a week away.
For many, that means frantic trips to the mall to find those last-minute gifts. But are people in the spending spirit? CTV's Beth McDonnell spent the day at the Scarborough Town Center to find out. Beth.
Nathan, all day the mall has been getting busier and busier, but this holiday season, people are taking a close look at their finances, trying not to spend too much. Blame inflation, the cost of housing, or the increasing demands on our pocketbook. This holiday season, more of us plan to hold back on spending and splurges.
If I'm looking at my budget, really kind of keeping it a low cost, pick and choosing, so kind of worried about the expense right now.
I do have a budget this year and I'm almost done, so yeah, just shopping for close friends and family.
The idea is to save. Just how much you save, I really don't think about that. I just try to get what they like at a cheaper price.
A new Research Co. survey found 47% of Canadians are looking to spend less than $500 on gifts, food, and decorations, while 42% plan to spend more. Kids know what they want.
A Lego Minecraft set, a Spidey watch.
With parents doing their best to meet expectations.
As they age and get older, the budget goes higher, right? So we'll see.
Some say there are reasons to go big on loved ones.
Because the last 4 years we couldn't do anything for them because for the pandemic.
Comparing habits to last year, the survey found 63% are planning to spend the same amount of money, while 23% are looking to spend less, with only 13% thinking they'll spend more. Buying ahead is one saving strategy, but for those last-minute shoppers, there are still ways to save, says the founder of Living on a Loonie, a resource for thrifting on social media.
Right now, I would definitely say look at the places, what's on your list, who's on your list, and what are the places that you could get them something they would like that have those sales. So a lot of online sales, like look for those rebates or cashback offers. A lot of places such as Rakuten, you can shop online and get a certain percentage of cashback, or for more stocking stuffers, toiletry items. Right now until Wednesday, Shoppers Drug Mart has their bonus redemption event on. So if you have PC Optimum points, you can get more for your money.
Many shoppers are trying to stay on budget.
I'm a little bit conservative this time about the spending because given the economic situation.
It'll be over $500 because I'm hosting Christmas this year at my house, so just the food alone.
Because everything's so expensive now, right? Like I go get groceries and you come home and you think, there's nothing there still.
Wanting to celebrate without going into the red. Super Saver Kathleen Cassidy, who was in the report, says for those looking to save on groceries, now is the time to buy your turkey and stuffing, as prices in the store tend to be lower the week before the holidays. Reporting live at Scarborough Town Centre, I'm Beth McDonnell.
All right, thank you, Beth. We have much more on holiday spending and travel on our website, ctvnewstoronto.ca. Well, a warning, this next story contains disturbing content. Pressure is growing on Israel to de-escalate the conflict in Gaza.
The U.S. Defense Secretary met with Israeli officials today amid growing calls for a ceasefire. CTV's Adrian Gobriel reports.
This hole marks the spot where an Israeli tank shell hit a maternity ward at southern Gaza's Nasser Hospital, according to the Hamas-led health authority. The round of mortar fire being blamed for the death of a 13-year-old girl. Innocent children also among the injured. Military operations by the Israeli Defense Force also reaching this refugee camp in the West Bank, where the search for survivors took place under a cloak of darkness early this morning after Hamas says an Israeli raid killed 4 Palestinians. All this taking place as U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin arrived in Israel, as pressure mounts from a growing number of Western nations for an immediate ceasefire.
We will continue to stand up for Israel's bedrock right to defend itself. And we will also continue to urge the protection of civilians during conflict.
Speaking today, Israel's prime minister seemingly unfazed, as both the UK and Germany have now joined the calls for a ceasefire.
When we spoke, I expressed again our commitment, Israel's commitment to achieve total victory against Hamas.
On the other end of this conflict, a spokesperson for Hamas, which has been declared a terrorist organization by Canada and the U.S., sharing their belief that America's support is to blame for the killing of innocent Palestinians.
United States administration is totally responsible of those massacres and violations taking place at the hand of the Israeli occupation army in Gaza.
With both sides appearing entrenched and continuing this war, the Kerem Shalom crossing on Sunday opened for the first time since this conflict began. With aid trucks now flowing into the ravaged region, the hope is that the amount of food and medicine so desperately needed will double. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada and 13 other countries are denouncing violence against Palestinians in the West Bank. In a joint statement, the countries strongly condemn what they call violent acts committed by extremist settlers who are terrorizing Palestinian communities. They also want Israel, as the occupying power, to protect the civilian population. The UN says violence in the territory has risen to an unprecedented rate since the initial deadly Hamas attack in Israel.
Meanwhile, Canada will be part of a multinational operation to safeguard commerce in the Red Sea. Participating countries will conduct joint patrols there and in the Gulf of Aden. The move follows a series of missile and drone attacks on commercial ships by Yemen's Houthi group. It has threatened to target all vessels heading to Israel, regardless of their nationality. Oil giant BP has joined a growing list of companies suspending shipments through the Red Sea.
The Vatican says it will be a sign that God welcomes all. Priests are going to be allowed to administer blessings to same-sex couples as long as they are not part of regular church rituals or liturgies. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
One day after Pope Francis turned 87, the Vatican announced a shift in stance towards same-sex couples. The Pope foreshadowed the policy change at the beginning of the year when he suggested being gay was part of God's plan. Every man and woman must have a window in life where they can see the dignity of God, and being homosexual isn't a crime, it's a human condition. Today's announcement says Catholic priests can bless same-sex couples as long as they make it clear that it's not the same as heterosexual marriage. Some Catholics are embracing this shift towards inclusivity.
It is moving to recognize that there are people in sort of alternative unions within the Catholic Church that are looking to have a lived experience and relationship with God.
This does not change the Church's definition of marriage as an exclusive union between a man and a woman. The Pope maintains that homosexuality is still a sin, if not a crime. Homosexuality is not a crime, but let's distinguish a sin from a crime. It's also a sin to lack charity with one another. For some, that charity doesn't go far enough because it doesn't bring about equality.
We're still not equal. We're still not completely welcome. Our bodies are still considered to be inferior, and that our relationships are considered to be inferior.
When the blessing of same-sex unions was discussed at a global meeting of bishops earlier this year, many conservative priests pushed back against the policy. This stance is not set in stone and can be reversed with a leadership change. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
The UK's most northerly inhabited island is entering the space race. The Civil Aviation Authority has licensed a spaceport on one of Scotland's Shetland Islands. It will become the country's first vertical launching pad and paves the way for up to 30 rocket launches each year, with the first one planned for 2024. Officials say the move is pivotal in where the UK stands in the global space industry and shows how serious it is about the space economy. 8 days and nights of Hanukkah festivities came to an end on Friday.
The Festival of Light celebrates the triumph of light over darkness. And while it came during a difficult time in our world, as CTV's Raheem Ladani reports, the message of hope continues to shine through.
This is a very special Hanukkah card.
Reading one of his Hanukkah cards, Andy Ratey says this year's celebrations felt quite different from years past.
This overwhelming feeling of frustration, anger, mixed with hope that it will get better sooner than later.
The war between Israel and Hamas has brought up many feelings for Ratey, who was a young boy during the Holocaust, along with sentiments he had hoped were left in the past.
For all of us, but especially an eyewitness, to see this kind of hate unleashed, unbridled, unchecked, is extremely sad.
Since the war began, the Toronto Holocaust Museum has seen an influx of school-organized field trips.
We've seen about 3 to 4 school groups per day, and they're coming from across the city, from all the different public school boards, York Region, Toronto.
While the museum focuses on educating young people about the Holocaust, it also addresses the current state of anti-Semitism.
After the students finish this deep dive into the Holocaust, they go into our learning lab where they're able to reflect and discuss what they learned, and that's really where they make those connections to every day. So they leave here hopefully feeling empowered to stand up against hate of all kinds.
Accentuate the positive, downplay the negative.
This is one of the first songs Ratey learned after coming to Canada at the age of 14. It's a message he hopes will bring communities across generations together.
We may not agree. In fact, we may disagree. But that doesn't mean that we cannot have a dialogue.
In an effort to create more light and overcome darkness. Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
Coming up, Can you guess the top baby names? Ontario is out with the latest list of favorites among parents, complete with several classics and maybe a surprise or two.
An iPad 4 and coming up on Consumer Alert. It's one of the most popular presents over the holidays, gift cards. But what can you do if you get a gift card that turns out to be empty? A Mississauga woman gave a $500 gift card to her grandson that had already been used. I'll have my reports. That's just ahead.
I'm Andrea Case, and I'm here with Natasha from the Team Marner Assist Foundation. And Natasha is also here with Aaron from Salvation Army. Aaron, good to see you. Natasha, thanks for having us. Why is it important that this organization donates money and toys?
Well, I have to tell you, this is our 5th year with Toy Mountain, but our 3rd year with our own Give a Gift campaign. We were really excited to be at Toy Mountain the first few years, and we thought, how can we make this bigger and better? But it took us 3 years to get you here to our location, so we're really glad to have you. And we just know what you guys do for people in challenging positions in the community. I mean, you provide just basic living necessities, right? Food, toys, not just that, things for people that are starting off new in the country. Like, it's just, your organization does awesome things, and we really, really wanted to do something and make it bigger and better this year to support more families.
Okay, and we're gonna hold that there because we're gonna have the people, it's a cliffhanger. We're gonna see how much they're donating after the commercial break. I'm Andrea Case up in Concord with the Team Marner Assist Foundation. Back to you.
They're present to give and receive over the holidays, but what happens if you give one that turns out to be empty?
It happens more often than you think, and when it does, it can be hard to get your money back. Here's Pat Vaughan and a consumer alert. Pat.
Michelle and Nathan, a Mississauga grandmother gave a gift card to her grandson as a graduation present, but it had already been used and was almost empty. She's been trying for the past 6 months to get her money back.
Nobody has replied. Nobody. Crickets.
Barbara Chalovich bought her grandson a $500 Walmart gift card after he graduated from university in June. When he went to use the card to buy camping equipment, he was surprised to find out almost all the money on it was gone.
When Max went to use the $500 card, there apparently was only $62.50 left on the card.
Her grandson had opened the gift card at the Walmart checkout.
They ran a history on it, which we had photos of too, of where the card fraudulent charges were made. And he doesn't even live in the town that the fraudulent charges were made.
Chalovich says she's been going back and forth with Walmart trying to get a refund for the past 6 months.
I'm disappointed and upset, that at store level, they can't do something about this.
Gift card fraud is a huge problem. Thieves may steal cards from a store and then write down their barcodes and place fake barcode stickers on the cards. When the card is activated, the money is added to the scammer's gift card instead of the card that was purchased. To protect yourself from gift card fraud, examine gift cards before buying them. If it looks tampered with, don't buy it. Buy gift cards that are behind the counter or online and save your receipt in case there's a problem. CTV News reached out to Walmart on Chalovich's behalf. A spokesperson said, "We reissued her a new gift card for the full amount and apologized for the service she received when she brought this concern to our attention." That was great news for Chalovich and her grandson.
I am extremely glad and happy that I contacted CTV News. Very happy. That was amazing, really amazing.
And if you get a gift card, you should try and use it in a timely manner in case there is a problem. It's estimated about 40% of gift cards have not been redeemed. That's about $35 million of pure profit for stores. On your side, I'm Pat Vaughan.
Have a consumer story idea? Email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Well, it is an incredibly busy week for a lot of people in the lead up to Christmas next week. You heard the Mayor of Vaughan saying he's way behind on his shopping. You really hope at this point that all those last minute folks don't have weather throwing a wrench in the plans. I think if you look at this week, we've got a lot of decent weather just tonight and into tomorrow morning. That could be a problem.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people want that white Christmas, but yet it's tough to get around in the snow. So you almost kind of want it maybe after Christmas. But yeah, we're getting that rain snow conversion, that mix happening right as we speak. These are the conditions across the province. So -9 in Timmins, -8 in Moose City. So you notice north of the city, it's really chilly, but around the GTA, we're still above seasonal. So things are decent right now, but temperatures are going to change. Looking at the lows overnight, it's going to be chilly, -4 with the wind chill -11, -6 in Peterborough, feeling like -13. So if you're out overnight, make sure you bundle up. You've got the warning. Waking up tomorrow, there could be some snow on the ground between 2 and 4 centimeters. Chance of flurries as well. So the bulk of the snow is ending at around midnight tonight, but then we could get another flurry or two in the morning, depending on where you are and in some parts. So right now, we're talking highs of -5 in Peterborough, -1 in Toronto, -3 in Waterloo. And looking at that 7-day forecast. So yeah, we got that snow coming in tonight, but for tomorrow, it's clearing by the afternoon, -1's the high. So that's around where we're supposed to be. For Wednesday, a mixture of sun and cloud, a high of 1 degree. So getting back to where those seasonal temperatures, inconsistent. Thursday, the first day of winter, that means we're going to get some more daylight. So that's meaning the days are going to feel longer. That's good. Friday, a mix of sun and cloud. Saturday, Sunday, that sun-cloud mix kind of ends, more clouds on those days. And then Monday, Christmas Day, it looks like we're not going to have a white Christmas. However, we are pretty far out. There is a chance of maybe some flurries that day, but doubtful.
Weather is brought to you by Train, the most reliable heating and cooling brand. It's hard to stop a train.
So we left you with a cliffhanger before the break. Now let's get to our Toy Mountain, which is seriously taking shape tonight.
We've been overwhelmed by the generosity of all those who've stepped up to support the Salvation Army and the thousands of kids in need across the GTA. CTV's Andrea Case is at Certified Sports Memorabilia in Coburg. Andrea.
In Concord. I'm going to correct you there because the folks in Concord are very proud. I'm here with the Marner family. Let's introduce them. We have
Bonnie,
Marner,
Uncle Bob,
Marner,
Chris,
Brother Chris,
Mitch.
Mitchell Marner, everybody. A Toronto Maple Leaf. Is it 34 points you have these days?
I don't know.
I'm keeping track. So, Mitch, you had a busy summer. One of my highlights is watching your wedding video over and over and over. Stephanie's not here. Congratulations. Fourth year you're doing this. Why is it important to be a part of Toy Mountain?
Well, I just think, obviously, holidays, Christmas. To me, it's just always being with family. That's the most important thing, but also just being with one another. Asking Santa for some beautiful toys. And I just know when we were kids and we opened those gifts that we asked for from Santa, just how amazing it was. And obviously you realize now that that's not in every single family's house. And for us, we just want to try to help out families, want to try to give families just a great holidays and great experience with one another. And that's why it's important to us.
Okay, well, there's going to be a check presentation because I said there was a cliffhanger. So, Natasha, come on down. And so what do we have here, Natasha?
Well, we're going to double our donation from last year to the Salvation Army. So we're just so blessed to be a part of this and for you guys doing what you do in the community. We're happy for our sponsors, but this is how we can support you guys.
Thank you so much. We are so grateful to Mitch Marner and the entire Marner Assist Foundation for this extremely generous donation. As you mentioned, a toy opens up a conversation to so much more and what we can offer and how we can support the community. So thank you so much. This is fantastic.
Okay. So I know a lot of people, a lot of Maple Leaf fans, what they want for Christmas is either playoffs or more goals. You're doing great so far this year. What's next for you? I know you have a game, I guess, tomorrow. Yeah. How do you relax? This is going to take a lot out of you.
I'm going to go and lie down with this big guy that's sitting in the middle of the frame. Watch a movie tonight with him, just relax. Try to get to bed early and get a good night's rest and just try to get myself ready for tomorrow.
Okay, so the team has done a lot for kids. Final shout out to the people at home. What can they do to help Toy Mountain and any charity they choose?
You can go to our website, marnerassistfoundation.com. Find us on socials at Marner Assist Foundation. And the donations are still lively. We'd love if you got the time and obviously, the money to do so, to try to help out and make a difference in someone's life for the holiday season. But we're just very thankful to be able to do this and want to thank again everyone here. It's a lot of fun. It's a beautiful time and it's holidays. We want to celebrate and have a good time.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mitch Marner and the Team Marner Assist Foundation, round of applause because we're helping to build a Toy Mountain. I'll send it back to you.
A huge contribution. Thanks again to the Marner Assist Foundation. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Well, also tonight, a new study sheds light on shortcomings in opioid overdose treatment, questioning why a life-saving option is only being used in a fraction of cases. With recent rising rates of opioid overdoses, a new study is raising concerns about a treatment that has been shown to be highly effective.
But the research found it's only being prescribed for a small fraction of patients. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan explains.
Methadone and buprenorphine naloxone, also known as Suboxone, are known as OAT, opioid agonist therapies. But the latest research in the Canadian Medical Association Journal shows only a tiny fraction of people with opioid use disorder get this treatment in the week following an overdose.
1 in 18 is actually quite low. And this is a treatment that saves lives.
Dr. Tina Hu says this is especially disturbing considering the rise in opioid-related overdoses and deaths in Canada.
Almost 300% increase over the last few years in just emergency department visits for opioid overdoses, and hospitalizations have gone up too. We know that OAT has really, in the research, shown that it has a very significant impact on reducing morbidity, mortality, and treatment retention.
So why are we not using it more?
There's a lot of different reasons for this.
Dr. Hu says there is a shortage of physicians right now, especially of family physicians and those who might have more expertise in dealing with addictions. Those in the field are pressed for time with each patient. And while Hu says addictions training is now included in the curriculum for doctors, few get practical training in it, limiting their confidence in prescribing OAT.
Being able to provide that education and training for physicians and allied health staff, and to be able to have these networks where we can prescribe and refer and make sure that the patient has a support network when they do leave the hospital.
The report aims to raise awareness of OAT, both in health staff and in patients who might want to bring it up to their doctor. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
If you got a baby girl named Olivia or a baby boy named Noah, you're not alone. They were the top baby names for 2022, according to the province of Ontario. Olivia has held the top spot for girls for 14 years, followed by Charlotte, Amelia, Emma, Sophia was number 5, and then there's Ava, Chloe, and Isla were tied for 7, and rounding out the top 10 were Evelyn, Lilia, and Mia. And when it comes to the boys, Noah is in the top spot for the 4th year in a row, followed by Liam, Oliver, Theodore, Jack, and Benjamin. Lucas was 7th on the list, followed by William, Ethan, and Leo.
Plans are taking shape for the return of the first Star Wars film to Canadian theaters with one major change.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster. An elegant weapon.
A dubbed Ojibwe version of Star Wars: A New Hope is going to be released. It's the most spoken Indigenous language in Ontario, Manitoba, and Minnesota. The translation is expected to happen next year and will be followed by a Winnipeg premiere, screenings across Canada, and a television showing on APTN.
The Stars Tonight is brought to you by Lastman's Bad Boy, court-approved liquidation sale.
When I looked out the window, I heard police and everything. It's devastating.
Updating our top stories, a police officer suffered minor injuries while trying to stop a stolen vehicle this morning. Police say officers formed a blockade near the West Mall in an attempt to box in the stolen car. And that's when it allegedly ran into the unmarked police vehicles. 2 suspects were arrested and sent to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
We put ourselves in these situations every day.
3 York Regional police officers are being praised for their bravery after rescuing an elderly couple from a smoke-filled home in Vaughan. One officer entered the house and escorted the couple to safety, while the other 2 went further inside to find the couple's daughter. No serious injuries were reported.
Give yourself the ability to change your speed, change your lanes, or stop.
A winter weather travel advisory is in effect this evening for Toronto and Hamilton, with 4 to 8 centimeters of snow expected to blanket the region. Environment Canada predicts the snowfall will cause reduced visibility and dangerous icy conditions. On the markets, the Canadian dollar is trading down about 1/10 of a cent to 74.65 US. Oil gained $1 to nearly 73 US a barrel. And the TSX Composite Index added 93 points to end the day at 20,622.71.
The Raptors are back in action tonight, looking to bounce back from Friday's lopsided loss to Atlanta.
Gets it to Murray, and an easy bucket.
The Hawks won 125-104. Tonight, Toronto will look to get back in the win column against the Hornets. Last time they played, Charlotte came away with a win. These 2 teams face each other twice more in the new year.
It is crunch time, ladies and gentlemen. A week to go in the Toy Mountain campaign. We're at 30,000 toys. We need 60, so we need you to dig deep. More coming up from Concord after the break.
All right, my favorite part of the show, checking in with the Toy Mountain team.
Christmas is 1 week away. The final push is on, Andrea, to collect all the toys we possibly can. Mitch Marner and his family really helping our effort tonight.
They certainly are. They donated double they did last year, so $20,000 this year. There's a lot of toys here and a lot of kids. Finally, before we go, 1 week left, your final pitch here.
1 week left. We are just over 50% of what we are hoping for this year, so the need is greater than ever. We're in the final week, so.
Okay, Mitch Marner, tomorrow you're back on the ice. We know you're probably going to score a goal. No pressure. Final out to the folks at home who want to donate.
Yeah, just go to martyrassistfoundation.com. Try to find all of our socials, Instagram, Twitter. You know, just like we said, we're down to the final week. It really matters. So every donation matters. Let's try to make this the best Christmas we can have, and hope everyone has a great holidays and enjoys time with their family and loved ones.
There you go. And we love all of you kids because you've been practicing. What is the message of the folks at home? We're going to build a toy mountain! There you go. You heard it, folks. That's it from Concord tonight. We'll send it back to the studio. Everybody say goodnight.
Good night. Thanks, everybody. All right, talking about the forecast, we've got travel advisories. We have weather watches and warnings. A lot of concern out there. Rain right now, but it is transitioning. That blue there, that's going to be coming in, turning it into snow. So the heaviest around midnight tonight. And there you see the special weather statements in effect, watches and warnings. So that's very important. Be careful, especially if you're on the roads. Right now, it's 4 degrees in Toronto, 4 in Burlington, 3 in Grimsby. Looking at the 7-day forecast, it does clear up tomorrow, -1, and then temperatures gradually go up. 1 for Wednesday. The first day of winter, we're sitting at 0. Friday, Saturday, Sunday gradually goes up. And then the first day, or Monday, which is Christmas Day, looks like we're not going to have that white Christmas, but we will see.
Some people like that. Some people be upset, but that's it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News. Then Zoraida Allman has the next local newscast at 11:30.
In the meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and online at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
Yes, for all of us here at CTV News, thank you for watching and have a wonderful night. Drive safe.